Hello guys, it's your boy Kazak 3D again with another brand new tutorial. So today we walk you through how to create this awesome logo you're seeing right now on your screen. Before I start creating this logo, there's a couple of things I want to show you first. I had this 2D logo sent by one of my friends, Hendrik from TZ, I think. He actually asked me to design it or try to model it in Blender because he's a C4D user. I should try to model it in my own way and show him how Blender tools actually work. So we're gonna create this logo together with you, and I will show you exactly how I came up with ideas and how I created all this. But with today's tutorial, we're gonna use Ops and Boxcutter. So if you don't have Ops and Boxcutter, I'll be providing the links in the video description. So this was the image sent by my friend, and he actually told me to model it how I can, or I should try to change it and to use actually my basic knowledge to model this 3D logo you're seeing right now, this 2D plane. So what I did is actually went through and look at how he actually designed the 2D, but there's one thing which I noticed, which I probably see like maybe a mistake or not. But if for anyone who is watching this tutorial, if you're creating 2D logos and you want to convert them to 3D, there's a couple of things you have to be knowing before you even just start creating it. This is actually a nice logo, but if try to check on how he created the DJ up here. It's too small actually, it is not visible. To say if you turn this into a 3D and maybe you animate it, it's too small. And if you were to ask yourself, what about the whole of this space for? At least this DJ should be scaled, or maybe should fit around here. That one should be just a little design up there, or maybe you can turn it to animation or light or something else. And secondly, if you are to try to read, maybe trying to read this DJ name, it's actually Sledge, I think, but not actually readable. If you are to create this logo and write this kind of name, it's maybe the person who created the 2D only will be knowing how to read. So if you're creating a logo to your client, or maybe you're creating a logo to try to make your name readable. This is actually something, it's like not readable. So I took all these ideas and tried to convert it to my own ideas, which I actually recommend, because if you create logos and at times you get stuck, I'm here to share ideas. Follow me on Instagram, and from there you'll be sharing, or maybe WhatsApp me and send in your 2D, so that way you should also try to create it my own style. I'm sure I'll be making a tutorial on how I create it, so that you also get a basic understanding on how to use Blender. And it is not only that Blender, any other 3D application, I told you using Maya, Max, C4D, the workflow is the same. I will not tell you that shift to Blender or change to Blender. Oh no, I won't tell you that. Any software you're familiar with can create any masterpiece of art you want to create with. The best idea is to just get a basic understanding of it, how the tool works, and start from there. So if you can afford Cinema 4D or any other applications, you are good to go. But if you can't, you are a student, you don't want to buy those expensive softwares, then Blender is the way to go, since it's totally free. So this is the idea I came up with. Since his 2D logo was above, it was somewhere here, the DJ. So I looked at the space and I thought maybe I should enlarge the DJ a bit and put it somewhere there, which is at least nice. So we're gonna move. Okay, I'm gonna move you step by step on how I created all of this. The text, the face to call it, and we'll cut all these things together. This will be a step-by-step tutorial. What I will not do is maybe texturing and animating, because I don't want to spoil other business of logo creation. So I'll only model this, and if you want to texture it and animate it, you also let me know, but I recommend finding your own way. So let's get started. And what we will do is let's save. Let me open up a brand new Blender scene here. So for those who are seeing, my UI has changed a little bit. Watch my previous tutorial. I explained why I shifted things like this. And before I even go further, let me first enable this add-on. I need to enable extra tool. I recommend it, or I mean extra object. After you turn it on, save preferences, and Shift S, cursor to selection, will delete the default cube, and Shift A, let's add in a plane, and of course let's rotate our plane to the Z-axis 90. Maybe let's scale it a little bit to the X, and let's apply the scale, because if you don't apply the scale, then the bend will not work. So let's apply the scale, and let's add. I'm using Adobes, guys. If you're not familiar with Adobes and Boxcutter, I recommend watching Ponte Ruiz tutorial and Gamble. Those are the best teachers for Adobes and Boxcutter. So I'm gonna add solidifier modifier, since that's my favorite, and add the bevel like that. I think we are good to go. Let's center our origin. So what you have to do is to tap to the edit mode, and then Ctrl R, add loop cuts. Like maybe you add an amount you want, like maybe let's go with these ones. Oh, they've moved a bit, so let me redo it again. And then after that, press enter, jump upside edit mode. Let me use the modifier, the modifier tab, simple, and then bend. And then if you are to change this to XZ, so we want to bend it the Z axis, but look at what is happening. It's bending upward, yet we need to bend it to bend towards the Y axis. But if I change to Y, look exactly what's happening. So the best way to fix this in Blender, it's easy. What you have to do is to add a plane. And then if you come back to the edit mode, the origin, let's use the empty as our origin, then boom, everything works quite nicely. So let's maybe add, like, maybe let's use 50. So because now I'm a big fan of numbers, so 50, it's actually and then after this, maybe let's scale it, let's see, a little bit like that. And with this already we have the first part. So what we will do is let's cut the bottom part. So let's actually Q, then or maybe let's just go to the box cutter and D to bring in the circle. From here we'll change the alignment to view, and we will do something like this. Shift to add segments, and maybe let's first press enter for, and then after let's view let's view the cutter, and from here what we'll do is scale the cutter to the x-axis, something like this. Let's move it down, let's center it, or maybe let's shift S cursor to selection and select this, and then shift S selection to cursor to make it out the center, and then move it just only on the Z axis, something like let's scale it to the X a bit, something like that will be quite nice. And what actually I do a lot is I actually model one side and then mirror the other side. So what we'll do is press Alt X, mirror to the other side. After that, we jump over to the edit mode, select the first vertices, then Control Shift B, or Control Shift B, I mean, to have a little chamfer there. So let's add another one up here to Control Shift B. Let's add another one up here, and then if you see quite closely, we already have that going. And then after that, we have to cut like up here. We should cut something like, maybe let me just show you. So let's snap our view, rotate, and then press Alt and snap your axis to align to Y. Let's go back to the box cutter. This time we use the N-gon cutter and draw something like this. Press Shift actually to make it go straight, something like this. Since we already have our mirror, we just press Enter and everything will get mirrored to the other side. So this is our second cut, or maybe let me just call it a cut. So what we'll do is to have another round. There's this outer, or I should call it the outer ring, or let me simply create a name. We'll find out to call it. So this is it. So let's save. Let me call it tutorial for the logo. Let's just say the logo, then save, because then I make rush or maybe power, since I'm having unstable power. So what we'll do from here, we need that the outer ring, or I should call it the outer ring. So what we'll do from here is to actually Shift D to duplicate that, and then right click to snap it back to position, hide one actually, and then from here what you have to do is to apply all these modifiers. Press Ctrl A, and then you can apply everything, but I think what we have to do is Q, then Smart Apply, so that we are left with only the buffer. So we see what the buffer does for us, and what we have to do is to select only this outer part. You can select, but we will mirror to the other side, so there's no need for us to select the entire loop. So this, it is like this. Then with add ops, it is easy because you just press Q. Then with this curve extract, simply press Shift and click to, it changes it from being a curve to the out panel. So delete that one, we no longer need it, and just simply press them, make the modifiers, align the modifiers, let's just say align the modifiers, so that we should have that nice highlight. And what you have to do is just to mirror to the other side, and then Alt H to unhide everything, or maybe let's hide only the cutters. And we already have this the outer ring we've talked of. So that's how you're able to create only that outer ring we talked of. So what we will do is to cut the hole inside here where we're placing our text. Okay, so let's use also another boolean. Let's use Boxcutter for this. Let's select the box and let's snap our view to the y-axis. Then let's draw something like this, and before you release, press B to bevel it. Then maybe let's use only one segment, then press enter. We'll have that nice cut. And after that, let's view the cut, and let's move it like this. And we also need another n-gon cut right here like this. Press shift to line it like this. Since it is not yet updated, the reason is, let me show you the cutter. The reason is the cutter is it is exactly on that. So what you have to do is just to move it outside a little bit, and let's maybe scale it to the Y, and then apply the scale. You will ask me, why is it the cutter is working, why is it the boolean is working and yet it has not touched the actual geometry itself? This is because this plane has a solidify modifier first, and it is having a bend modifier. So if we turn off the bend, you will see that the boolean is lining and the bend is below the boolean. So this cutter has to be lined with the actual geometry, not the modifier, because if it is over there, it will be interacting with the modifier. That's why it is working. So what we have to do is to bring the inside grid. So let me shift S cutter selection, and as I told you before, if you jump over here, and then there's a honeycomb. I normally use honeycomb. From here we can change the alignment to view. We can use 100 and maybe get rid of other parts we no longer need. So 100 by 100 is a square, but after I scale it to fit my needs, what I will do is before I bend that, let me show you. I will need a boolean. I will need to borrow a boolean from this. So what I will do is shift Z to duplicate it, bring it back into position, and then shift H to hide other side. Then what we have to do is to remove the oh no, let's keep that. Let's keep that boolean. Let's get rid of, no, it's also nice, we'll need it. So maybe let's get rid of this boolean. Let's get rid of this one as well. Then let's get rid of the bend. So what we have to do is to apply all of this. Apply all this. We only left the bevel and we don't even need the bevel. So this one, we'll be using it as a boolean to cut our grid. Is it a grid or maybe like the honeycomb? So with add ops, select this, then select this one, Q, then difference. So it has already did a pretty good job, but vice versa, it has did the exact opposite. So what we have to do is to just simply insert. Let's hide this. After inserting, what we have to do is to simply type here, add the simple bend, the bend, select this, let's bend it to the Z, and boom, everything. So we have been using here 50, so let's also use this time also 50, and let's move it in position like maybe that. I think somewhere like that is quite nice. And let's add some thickness to it by using a solidify modifier like We don't even need. So the modifiers, if I look at event thickness, and let's add some thickness. Maybe let's use like, okay, so that's enough. Let's update ourselves, and we will now need the text. So creating the text is also something easy, since there are texts that are installed with Windows itself. So Shift A. First of all, let's snap our view. I like snapping the views because it gives you it saves a lot of time rotating all those stuffs. And if you snap your view and then add the object and then change the alignment to view, it rotates everything for you. Super easy. Nice, isn't it? I'm kidding. So let's change all this to center. Oh yeah. And then let's change the font type to, maybe let's use this Arial Black. You're free to use any type of font you want. Then let's maybe type in light. Is that the correct spelling? Oh, of course it is. So after you're done with all that, update your saving, turn to geometry, add thickness. Let's rotate to see how thick it is. Maybe let's add it a little bit. Let's use like this, because then, so the bad thing with text, if you want to bend the text, let me show you something. If you want to bend the text, like maybe let's simple deformer bend, even if you select this then delta the Z, look at what happened. You get that weird line, the geometry, which we don't want. So let me show you the proper way to fix that. Let's come back to the text. Then what we have to do is bring this back all to 0. Let's maybe shift H2. Then after all this, what you have to do is change the fill mode to none. Right click, convert to mesh, like that. I will show you why. Then after, dive to the edit mode, then select these ones, then P, separate by selection. Then with the edit mode, select all them, then F to fill, and then E to exclude, because we'll be using this as booleans as well. So oh no, okay, select this, tap the edit mode, edit, select F to fill everything. So select this and this, Q difference, Q to show the boolean, because we apply the select this, apply the modifier, then delete this because we no longer need it. Then if I unhide everything, we don't want to see the cutters, so we should apply the bend once more, Z, and then turn this, and you'll be seeing that the weird shading is gone. So from here you can use our favorite modifier, the solidify modifier, and then even so add thickness to your liking. Maybe you can use it, you can maybe use the negative side, or maybe it depends on. So that's how to fix those weird issues of what. Then from here we can add bevel, which also works quite nicely because it's just like actual geometry. So here we go. From here you can scale it. Oh, press S while scaling so that it should move slowly. After you align all that, apply the scale. So here we go. Maybe there's a little trick I want to show you. You can maybe view the cutter, this cutter itself. select the boolean. Let's go to the Boxcutter and create something. Maybe let's move it down a little bit and press enter. So if you cut the boolean itself, it brings something nice like that. Huh? Cool. Is it cool? It's cool, isn't it? So we will need something else here, and what I'll be showing you is, maybe let's create the little panel up here, something maybe which will cover this. So you can do it as the same trick as we did, or maybe what we will do is to shift D to duplicate back into position, and then get rid of all these modifiers. Up apply that one, get rid of the others, and what we want from here is only the let's apply the what we have to do is to extend it outside a little bit, and then add some thickness like that. After all that, apply this, lift it up a little bit, snap your view and cut something like this. After you're with that, you can insert a cutter, and we will be having something like this. So you can adjust the bend. Don't worry about the numbers this time. After adjusting all of this, and it's nice as you expected it, apply all this. Apply the boolean, apply this, but leave the mirror. So let's dive into the edit mode and face selection. Select from here, or double click to select that. It will select the entire loop. Okay. Select this and then control select this one, and then shift to control select this one, and then B separate those ones. After all that, hide this and then delete this remaining one, and hide it, and hide this one, and dive over to the edit mode, to edge selection, control B to bevel and add something nice to your looking like this. And of course let's add our favorite, the solidify, and even thickness. Give it the amount of solidification you want. Maybe let's jump to the negative direction, so like that, and let's add some highlights too by adding in a bevel. So let's push it and do something like this. So this is it. So from there you can use the N-gon cutter maybe to add in some details, or maybe the design you want, like maybe you wanted to be like so. And if you're seeing the auto effect like this, what you have to do is to simply position your cutter, and that solves the problem. So here we go. We already have this first nice looking panel. Let's just say the panel. So it's time for us to add the back. Is it plane RX90? Scale it to your liking. I would want it to be like that, and then I will jump and grab it to the Y. Control A, apply the scale. Add in our favorite, solidify. Add in some highlights. and let's just create it. So no worries, let's just create it. So let's maybe snap our view, and then let's move it as close as we want. So what we'll do is we will move this part, and before that, let's add a mirror modifier so that we create only one side. Tap one edge loop right in the middle, and let's move this peacefully like this. Move it to your likings. I think maybe I'll go with something like this. Depends on what you need, but by my side I will leave it like that. Jump out of edit mode, and I would like to create the same panel as we did by creating this. So this time I will go to edit mode, shift D to duplicate, right click to press this back, P to separate selection, and then I this one, select all this to the edit mode, A, and then E, Y. Let me move to the Y location, Y like this. Now let me unhide everything, but the solidification seems to be working exact opposite, so let's swap it a little bit. Let's check it from this, and let's maybe add that thickness. And the reason why you're seeing it's being splitted up here is simply because it is on the exact top. Let me turn off the mirror. It is on exact top, so what we have to do is to avoid that, make sure you turn the mirror off, not deleting it but turning it off. So dive to the edit mode, 2 for edge selection, and then exclude to the X, snap the view, and then move this just to match that tiny bit. After that, turn your mirror back on, then boom, you fixed everything. So this is it, and we have to add in those bars. I think I should call them the bars. How you should call it how you want to call it, but I call them the bars. So, and I will use add ops as well, a box cutter I mean. So we use the box, use this, press X, select the second one, press X, and then add another one, press X as well. So don't mind on the sizes, but you can use any size you want according to your liking. So all these are different geometries. So before we go further, let's add our DJ dot word, our DJ, and shift A, text, expand the menu view. Let's go to the text, and let's align everything to center. Let's change the font type to the one we used previously, was the bold one, the bold font. This one, let's open this one, and let's move everything up and tap the edit mode, DJ, only that. Scale it till you get used to it. Oh I'm sorry, I'm kidding. So let's add some thickness, some depth, like maybe let's use something like that. You're free to use whatever you want. So this is the DJ, and from here let's modify some designs down here. Or should we finish the top, or maybe let's continue with the back portion, or maybe to get to the guideline on where we will trim. Let's first create the inner grid, or maybe I should duplicate this and then get rid of all the booleans, and let's just keep the mirror and let's shift it down. Let's snap our view, scale it something like that. Maybe we can scale it even more if we still, maybe to the x-axis this time, like that. Apply our scale and let's move it backwards. Even thickness, let's reduce the thickness a little bit, and maybe let me undo it and maybe move it backwards, and we should have something like that. So with this, what we will do is, let me move it down a little bit, something like that. Since we have our mirror on, let's just use Boxcutter's end gun to chop off the part we don't want. Maybe let's go for something wide like that, then press enter, and boom, we already have our interesting shape. And what we'll do is, let me view the cutter and let me move it down a little bit like that. So what we do is to add in a box boolean like this, then add bevel, move your mouse to make it complete to round edge, then press enter. Then maybe let's view that, shift S, cursor to selection, and maybe let's just duplicate the DJ text and shift S, selection to cursor. Let's scale it down a little bit and let's move it in position like that, and let's add in that name is star on the edge. So after all that, let's scale it down like this. Maybe we should scale it a bit, the Z, like that. Then apply the scale. Oh, if you apply the scale something, so just leave it like that. Maybe we will just add the thickness. Let's just add the thickness a little bit, and let's move it a little bit to the Y, and let's dive to the edit mode of this cutter and make sure you go to the wireframe mode, because if not, you will not be selecting all the back faces, the back vertices, I mean, won't be selected. So let's move it a little bit like that. Nice. So let's hide the boolean, and we have at least something going on. So since all these are separate pieces, I think we should move this up. We don't want to see that. Let's hide that. And something like, let me just, okay, let's hide that, and let's mirror this one. It's like we have already the mirror, so let's mirror it to the, not that, to the Y as well. So if you mirror to the Y, at least we have something going on. And let's do it. So this one as well as like this. So this one, let's move it up. Of course, we don't want to see that. We have only that one. So what we will do is simply apply the mirror over this one, and then this one as well, apply also the mirror. Then after select that one, shift select this one and reapply the mirror. You will see why in the sec. We apply the mirror, we applied the mirror, and then we are adding another mirror. Why? Because we need the control to be able to move this down with the all of that cut part. How is it? The sliced part of that. Okay, we need something like this, or you're free to use any design you want to use, but for now let's go with something like this. We'll add minor adjustments later, but as I told you, for now let's go with that. So we need a little rim edge. You know, I'm a huge big fan of that. So let me hide as accept selected. If I dive to edit mode, let's apply the boolean, this boolean, because I only need, let me go to the edge selection, I only need this one all the way up to here, Let me select a small part of it, shift D, right click, back, B separate by selection, and then after I hide this, we only have this. Go back to edit mode, select all, then E, Y, something like that. After all this in mind, we don't need any boolean, and I am sure. Okay, let's unhide everything and select this and this. Let's be on. So let's align this. Let's move. Oh no, not like that. Let me just try to move it. Or maybe let's go to the top view and we will align from there. And let's reduce the bevel side. I think it is cool. Let's jump over to the edit mode and reduce the thickness to something like this. Something like this would work. So we already have that nice trimmed edge. So let's proceed with our modeling, and with all that in mind, let's add in our stars. Or maybe before we add the stars, let me add something, because there's another design I added. It's here like this. I had a small design here to the E. Let me move it up. Let me move it somewhere like this, EX, like that. Apply the scale, and let's scale it to the Y to make it a little bit smaller, and like this. So let's rotate it to the Z. Let's move it to the Y a little bit. Let's rotate to the Z. So after we applied all the scale, let's apply the bevel. So let's mirror this. Let's use this as our center, and let's mirror it to the other side. And here we go. So maybe let's move it somewhere like this, and let's move it inside. Move it to your liking. You're free to do whatever you want. Now let's rotate it a bit. So that is it. From here you can add in just like I did, You are free to use even a bevel, the curve, or maybe, but let's use a cylinder. Let's use a cylinder with 64 vertices. Let's scale it down. Let's scale it to the Z, make it tall. So what we have to do is let's snap our view R90 and let's scale it down, since we only need small part of it. It's also too big. Let's scale it, and let's scale it to the X. Apply the scale like this. So we already have that nice looking detail. So let's add in our stars. And if you want to create stars in Blender and you are not perfect with what you want to create, I have a little trick for you. Simply what you have to do is snap your view, check for the image of the, since this guy created stars on his image, we'll borrow stars from that image. So the image is right away here. So what we will do is cursor to selection, add in just any mesh. Maybe we use a cube, whatever you want to use. That over the edit mode, select all and move that down here. So press 1 for vertex selection, M, and then merge at center. So after you're done merging that, you will have only one vertex. So you can line that to the top, and then after press E to exclude another one. So after you're from here, you don't need to exclude it up. Select this and then select this. Simply press F. After that, select all, fill that with a solid. After, delete your plane. So we already have. So we have to move this vertices to the center. What we will do is select object, set origin to center of. You can also apply your shortcut to bring that vertex to the center of this. So from there we can move it to anywhere we want. We can also exclude it or add our favorite, because you know I normally like modeling in a non-destructive way. So you can also add solidify, and then the bevel, something just tiny bit, or like this. After this, what we will do is rotate this and then scale it. Maybe we want a big star here. Then after that, so let's add some thickness because it's like, so maybe let's do something like that. So from here you can duplicate by pressing Shift V, and after duplicating you scale them down. So you select this and this, Ctrl X to mirror to the other side, Shift D to duplicate, and then scale it down, Shift V until you meet your person. After that you position them, or maybe you can snap also to faces. So press GY, then snap to the face, GY, snap the face. So this also the same. After turn off the snapping, whatever you want to call it, and then here we go. So it's like we already had our. Let's turn on cavity, turn on both to see what's happening, to have the highlights, or to see maybe how the light will travel to our logo. So it's like we are done with the stars. It's time to add in some other cool details, or maybe other designs you want to add. So let me first add in a plane RX90. Let me move it somewhere like this. Let me just update my saving, and after that I will scale it to the X. Shift H to hide others except the selected. So from here, let me dive to edit mode, add an edge loop, add in another edge loop. And after all that in mind, let me add in another edge loop. And after that, I'm gonna mirror it to the other side because I don't want to create this and create the other side. So let me only select this and move, not excluding, it's just moving. I'm moving this. Maybe let's move also all this. I move. So you see, I'm moving this. So if I press 2 and go to the edge selection and move this, we will be having something like this. Don't forget to add our favorite and add some highlights by using a bevel modifier, which by the time I was still using Cinema 4D, adding bevel was a pain. Not actually a pain, I'm kidding. It was hard because I never knew how to apply all those, or maybe work with. So it's time for us to move it, or you can even, what you have to do is, I think what we will use is, let me first scale it to the X, and then let's use our end-gun cutter to cut something like this. Just slide it all over there and press enter. After all that in mind, I think I should maybe make it even long so that I should show my boolean. What I will do is simply apply the boolean, apply the mirror. Let me delete this, and what I will do is let me select only this edge, separate by selection, delete this, I think A easy, something like this. Maybe let me get rid of all this, apply this, and let me reapply the solidify. Or if you so look at this, at times this happen, we are adding our solidify modifier, but look at what is happening. That is simply because the normals are not matching. So if you turn off it, or you will see this part is red and this other part is blue, simply because the normals. So what you have to do is to go to edit mode. Maybe you can mirror the normals, or go to edit mode 3, select this other one which is showing red, and then Alt N, flip the normals. After that, everything should be blue and the inner all should be red. Turn off our face orientation, and then you will see everything seems to work as expected. So let's add in the bevel, and boom. So we have added our design right like this. You can dive over the edit mode, select all the upper portions and move it down. Do not scale, just move this down, because if you scale, let me show you exactly. If you scale to the X, see what's happening. So just move that down and shift DZ to move it up. So what I did here, I just shifted that one, but what I did is rotated it 180 like that, and what I did is scaled it down. After scaling all that down, I also again rotated it 90 degree, okay, 180 degree to point up, okay, to point up like this. That's exactly what I did, nothing else here. So I moved it move it to your likings, or maybe you can also do something like this. Maybe what you have to do is to do this. Okay, after that, just mirror, don't stress yourself, just mirror to the other side. Okay, just mirror to the other side. After that, maybe let me duplicate this by pressing Shift V. Let me move it some, maybe let me GZ to touch that, and let me jump over the edit mode, and what I will do is select all this and then move it to your liking. I wanted it to be, you can also use add-ons to cut them, but let me go a long way like this, and we have another pretty cool design there. So after all this in mind, what we'll do now is adding in some minor details. This detail, what you think is I should add, you add. What you think that you should remove, then you're free to do that as well. So maybe let me first start with adding which detail. Okay, let me first start with this, the actual text itself. So what you will do with this text is, I'll show you only one and then you apply to the others as well. So Shift V to duplicate this, right click to press it back in position. The shape should be none. Then what we'll do is, after that, is to add some depth. So if you're adding this, you'll see something nice happening there. So since this is a text, it's simple, but with this which we had already applied, that what you can do is to Shift V, right click to press it back in position. So after that, you will need to apply all this. Okay, so maybe you can apply the solidify, and maybe let's apply everything. The pen, solidify. So type to the edit mode, go over to the first selection, select this outer, whatever you like to call them. Maybe I will select this one as well. Select this, and then delete fake, or maybe let's delete this as well as this one, because we don't need that one. So dive back outside, add in a solidify modifier, swap the modifiers and tick that and make this a little bit thick on the outside. Maybe what we have to do is, to avoid this being laggy, let's first turn off the bevel. And let's use the outer. So if you see something like this happening, let me show you guys. You see only something like this happening. What you will do is untick this one, and then normal auto. So after that, unhide everything, and from this you can turn on your buffer with a pretty low maybe something like that. So here we go. You can add in, you can apply all that skills to almost everything here in Blender. And another small detail which we actually need is, let me show you. Maybe we will need a little design somewhere here. So let me also shift a bit, duplicate this. Remember, we are adding details now. We are adding details. So that one, we need that. We also don't need that. We don't need that. We also don't need that. The pen. So maybe let me simply use this and then cut, but you see properly nothing is happening. Do exactly as I told you, move it up, and then the boolean set. Okay, after you are done with the inserting, you can unhide everything and ensure you hide the booleans, and this is doing the exact opposite. So let's bring that a little bit like this. So, and what we will do is, this time the solidify modify should go outside, not inside. Should be outside like this. So after that, you are now free to add in your designs, like maybe go something crazy like this, like this. Do exactly what I told you. If you cut and see something, nothing happening, just swap in your, just move your cutter, okay? And let's bring that outside. I think that's not the actual size. Let's do something like this. We are adding details, guys, so this is it. From there you can do whatever detail you want to add. Maybe you can do almost everything you want to do with that. So I think, and a little bonus, let me show you something little. Or maybe let's, from here you can also select this and use an end gun cutter to cut, slice, add in any detail that you think will make you happy. Okay, well, let me say that. So there's one thing I want to show you. One last thing is, let me first select the text. Okay, shift H. So I use kid ops for the screws, but you're free to model it. I'll first you, if you select this and add an insert and move it. So here we go, guys. So if you scale this down, so as I told you guys, it's let me first, what you have to do is, let me first turn off the boolean. Let's select all both of these and scale it down, like maybe position it to fit your needs, and press home key to center everything, like this, and make sure you position it exactly how you want it to be. Maybe let me first like this. So after you're done, turn on your boolean and you will see this weird thing happening. Okay, so let me first sharpen that. So after you click sharpen, and boom, move this to the cutters collection. So this is how you can add screws. You're free to add them wherever you want. Apply them, cut them, use it everywhere. You can apply all to these screws as I did. So this is how I managed to create that logo, nothing else. I think I'm pretty done with everything. You can add in your knowledge and use your basic understanding to add more details, or add in screws, or those whatever you want to create. And I think this is the basic. I don't think there is something else missing. You can use all this to apply this, the screws. I know you will see we started only one, but that is how I added the screws. So use this to you can use the same thing to apply all this. And we have the free kit ops, which is having that, those screws. The free kit ops is having all these, the screws. And if you want to know how to model your own screw, let me show you. You can just add in a cylinder. I press my home key to center. So after this, go to the edit mode 3, bevel everything like this, and then move this up. So from here you can use the add ops. So what you have to do is show that, and then move it up. And then after that you can, so just shift D, duplicate it, RZ 90, select that and select this difference. So you will have this, but move it up a little bit. Select this, apply all these two booleans, delete them. Select your screw head, go to the edit mode, select this, E to exclude, then you have your screw head. So guys, thanks for watching, and I'll be providing the link for description, and I'll be providing the image, the 2D image itself, if you want to follow along with it. And maybe if you have your own 2D image and you want me to try to create it in my own style. And let me tell you a bit of my story. I wanted actually to learn Blender for visual effects, but I'm still also learning about that. That was my main goal, to study Blender. And if there's anything which I know which you don't know, you're free to ask. If this video gives you something, or maybe you gain some knowledge from this video, you're free to give me a like, comment, and if you're new, you're free to subscribe for my future tutorials. And see you in my next one.